what is going on, everybody? You know, I just want to say for those who are not or who are in the chat right now, thank you for stopping by for my 80 plus sub special. Uh, let's hop right into this. I just before I want to get started, this is like I thought 80 subs may not be enough for me, but I feel like this is just the beginning of a milestone. Yo, Danny, what's going on, my dude? And Nightings, I see you in the chat there, buddy. What's going on? Hey, look, you can ask me to. I have no rules for this Q&A, so you can ask any question that is on your mind. That's that's the kind of the goal. This is kind of like the what's the one we're looking for? The premise of this special live stream. Let's. But yeah, I mean, it's what should I ask? That's up to you, Nightings. You can ask me like I mean, you can ask me anything you want. I mean, that's kind of the understanding of this. But I just gotta say, if anybody, you know, God, I couldn't really thank you guys enough, and hopefully, potential new viewers enough to actually get me to almost get to 100 subs, man. It's it's an amazing moment to actually share you know my thoughts with you guys. But yeah, I mean, I think you know but yeah, having you, Nightings, and Danny for you for my 100 sub special. uh well well Danny, to answer your question for that one. Well, I'm because my buddy Mitch actually gave me this idea. um because do basically do a giveaway for Phillies for my own merch line. So I'll like, hold a drawing for that when I hit the 100 sub mark. How do we? Actually, that's a very good question, Nightings. I got started around a very young age, right? Somewhere between like 8 or 9 years old. Because what about me is I've actually I was born up here in New Jersey. So this is where I kind of got into kind of get that exposure to the Philly sports fan base. And ever since, even though when I moved, to South Carolina and lived for 11 years, I still had that faith for the fan base. And then when I came right back, um, but yeah, I mean, this is I just kind of just I just enjoyed what I loved. Now, as you can see in the background, I mean, this is my temporary background at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I kind of just feel like, but yeah, I mean, I thought having doing this with you, sharing this major milestone right now for you guys is an amazing moment. Yeah, 90s. I see that. I mean, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. After when the stream is done. But if you know anybody else that wants to come in, share it around with anybody. Because this is an opportunity to open myself up to show or to reveal who I really am as a content creator. That's just kind of what this idea of it is. Answer some questions and whatnot. Um, doesn't matter if it's sports related or just anything. It doesn't have to be like anything like YouTube related or. I mean, it can be. I mean, I don't want to try to limit to different types of questions, but yeah, like I was saying, I don't know. It's just like I see. I would never have thought, how far my YouTube channel would have come, you know, because what's it's a surreal moment to actually to basically actually get it out there, you know. Well, yeah, I mean it's oh yeah, I mean it is, yeah, it is gonna, yeah, and that's the thing too. Like people really don't see. That's the thing too. Like, cause I wanted to have this planned to kind of feel, basically, open my, kind of get, it's pretty much get to know me kind of thing. Even though it's a Q&A, but I want to start adding, little personal touches here and there. But telling some life stories and all this kind of stuff. Kind of just share the the like myself behind the camera, if that kind of makes perfect sense. But yeah, I mean, now you can see if you can find other ways to actually get, you know, let other people that I'm live. I mean, I already got two viewers already. Not too bad though. If you're a viewer already watching the stream, hop in the chat. Like the stream up. Like it's you know, you guys are really are like the best. Are kind of like the best group or the community that I've been, that actually, started, doing this for about 3 months now. It's, I thought, this is a pretty cool opportunity to actually join, when I start to join the community, and maybe do my own thing, and then, but yeah, yeah, it is a good start to the stream nightings, but yeah, I mean, it's like I'm and I'm very grateful, to have 85 subs, but pardon me. But my real I want to try and keep this going as long as I possibly can. Hopefully, one day I'll hit 1 million. That would be an amazing milestone to reach. But with the way I'm going, I want to try to take it like, yo, what up, Dante? Welcome to my Q&A, live stream, with a little added, personal stories touches and whatnot. Um, it's oh yeah, we are definitely gonna get there together, nightings. But yeah, so I've got Dante in the chat right now, like, but yeah, I mean it's an amazing 7 likes right now with the stream. Let's get it right now. You know, I really couldn't think, you know, being part of this, this YouTube community with, like different like sports content creators, no matter what the fan base is, I thought it's an interesting, experience to be a part of. Having someone like Joey Shakes to help me along the way. Um, thank you, Danny. I get the funny actually. The story, but actually, I got this off Amazon for like $60, and it's money worth well spent because I needed a mic. But like I was saying, because you know, with with my buddy Mitch, kind of helping me along the way with his buddy Tyler, meet some new people along the way. Yeah, thank you guys. Because you know it's pretty cool to actually meet new people who are and basically new content creators. Like, got to meet, got to actually be, talk to Joey Shakes, DJ Eastwood from Running Back Philly, um, Philly Tech with RB. I can't wait for that, Dante. But yeah, I mean, hey, look, I'm open to any questions that you guys have on your mind. Like this is, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, 90s. I think you like you, Mitch, run, DJ Eastwood, a lot of these different content creators that you know even though I'm still kind of a newbie to the game a little bit, I just feel like it's, I thought it's an interesting. opportunity to actually work with a whole new group of people, because sometimes I because I have a tendency to not to do things outside of my comfort zone. Even here, you know, I mean, I have some few friends, but I still have friends, but they're probably doing like separate things at the moment because our 5 year class reunions coming up. Yeah, I can't wait to see that too, Nightings. Well, yeah, I mean, like I really can't be, I really can't say any like, you know, 85, 85 subs. I'm kind of beating around a dead horse with this, but from it, I since I had my channel since as long as I can remember, with only 7 subscribers. Um, Now growing it to now, well, right now I'm live as a stream, but once this all is all done, it'll be a VOD of this. So if you guys want to get to know who I really am, I'll gladly you know start taking with baby steps with this, because I want to for you guys to actually understand who I am and where do I want, or how do I want to go further with this. Obviously, gotta gotta do that. You gotta have to rep my Eagles Super Bowl shirt for this. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to unpack for someone who basic of who I am. Like for example, obviously I'll be turning 25 in this March of the new year. Yeah, tell me it's insane how life catches up to you. Like there's a lot. I mean, I've been through a lot over the years. The thought of doing making videos like this for the past 3 months as a hobby, I thought maybe this is it. You know, hopefully one day I'll get like nice, like you say, we'll take this together. We'll do this together as a huge community. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to actually to see at least get to interact with like a new group, new people on this platform, because oh yeah, Dante, I'll gladly down to collect. Yo, what's going on, AJ? Welcome to the QnA stream. You know, but yeah, but to start off about who I am, obviously my name's Robert, and obviously that I'm the host of the Philly Sports Podcast. Um, Basically, what I and when I had this, I got you, but yeah, so when I had this channel for a good chunk of time, I didn't know where to take with it. I always binge watch YouTube a lot, but the fact that yeah, I mean it's surreal to think about it. To actually be a content a small content creator now, but I saw I'm looking towards the future. Yo, what is going on, Slay? Welcome to the QnA. To my 80 plus sub QnA. Um, but yeah, so far, there's a lot I want to get to. So far, I've been to two. So the one, this was way back when when Veteran State. Hey, look, 90s. It's a great idea for a 200. But to answer your question, 90s, I've been to the Citizens Bank a handful of times, and even at the vet back in the way back when. So yeah, so I've been to two different well, technically, two different ballparks in one stadium. But there's a lot of other ballparks I would like to visit. Wrigley's one of them. like some of the old historic ballparks like Wrigley, Fenway, even like I mean so far like yeah I mean Citizens Bank's the only ballpark I have ever visited because I'm close to Philadelphia. I'm like 5 minutes away from the Walt Whitman Bridge here in Philadelphia. It's yeah. I mean, let's go Rays. It really helps us out with that. But yeah, to answer 90 to answer your question, the but yeah, to answer that question, is the is Citizens Bank Park and the Vet back in the day. So yeah, so I've only even though I only limited myself to the city of Philadelphia. You know, there's a lot. I have a lot of other plans on my bucket list I want to go to. Is visit all 30 ballparks. Even some football stadiums like Lambeau. I want to go. Go watch a Packers game every now and again. I still got to go to watch an Eagles game, which still annoys me that I haven't gotten a chance to yet because I've seen the Phillies so many times. I think I've I don't know how many times I've watched the Phillies. I've seen the Sixers twice and the Flyers once. Yeah, it is. Like I want to feel that experience. The frozen tundra. Dante, I would be down to collab. I'll DM you. I will DM you on Twitter when I get done with this stream. Slash recording whenever this goes live on the channel. But before I want to go any further, share this around. I want us to get more people's input. I want to. This is all for you guys. You guys actually helped me get here, even though it's part of me grind, but it's mostly for you guys. This is why this is what my idea was. To show my appreciation for you guys. I really don't. I really usually don't take things for granted. But yeah, like I said, having something like this to show my knowledge and love of Philly sports. Hell, even on the channel, like I'll branch out, a Shohei Otani video that I've done. That's on the channel as well. Some different free agent news. I'm probably going to do some of the all season for the Sixers. Some of the I mean, I haven't done the Flyers one yet because there's really not that much to cover for the Philadelphia Flyers. But to understand who I am, I've because before with some of the questions, I want to well, my name's Robert. I'm 25 years old. Um, obviously I'm the host of the Philly Sports Podcast YouTube channel. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're the Ryan Ellis trade. I mean that's the only thing for the Sixers. Yeah, the Ryan Ellis trade. Yeah, I've seen that, but I'll try to cover it as much as I can with it because there was a little bit of limited information that's been put out because of it. But but yeah, I'll cover that when I'm done with the Q&A session. But like I was saying, about me, hopefully, it's kind of obviously, I'm 24 years old. Okay, I wouldn't have to repeat. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have to repeat myself because I just lost my train of thought. But my name's Robert. I mean, I'm 24 years old. I'm the host of the Philly Sports Podcast YouTube channel. Um, you know, God, I'm trying to describe because this is an amazing moment for me to reach. 85 subscribers. Some videos may not do well, but they but yeah, I mean, growing up, I grew up pretty well. It's not because like I had I had a decent childhood. I was not too poor. I didn't go up like super poor or in the upper class, but kind of like in like the middle. And I usually don't take life for granted. like and at times, sometimes I will, obviously lose my train of thought, and I try to speak as slowly as I can without tripping my over my words. But a lot of people, and this is why people, and this is why I don't know if you guys haven't watched my intro video. It gives you a little bit of a small background to about who I am, and with the of who I am. I have to deal with it with anxiety. I have to even growing up, as a little kid, I had to deal with some mental illness over the years. Especially depression. Now, I hope YouTube really doesn't want to take this down. Who's to blame? I say John Middleton. That's my biggest. That's the only. The last couple seasons is Middleton and the way that he doesn't want to spend money. So that's my answer to the question. That's my answer to your question, Dante. But like going back before, I've actually, I'm also, and who for those who are watching this stream right now, you know, I'm highly functioning. I have autism, and I've actually got made fun. You know, now that I mentioned, I mentioned that in my saving Howard. Oh, that's I say I would go with Sabian Howard because it's for some odd reason because Steven Nelson doesn't really it's trolling us like crazy. Like it's getting ridiculous. But yeah, I'll take Xavier and Howard, and but yeah, I mean it's like exactly. The fact that we can probably if we can land him, hopefully try to trade Ertz and with the mess that's been going. Um, I think it's possible. Having Slay as the primary corner and having Xavier Howard as the outside corner. I think we have a pretty good secondary. I mean, exactly. No, I mean, they're both good corners, but Xavier, in my opinion, I feel like he has a better body size as a corner. You know, yeah, exactly. He's a lot. Exactly. My thoughts exactly, Nightings. You know, and I said that too. It'll be a great pairing between those two. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I mean, obviously obviously doesn't Danny's not in the chat, but Dante, let me catch you up to speed. And AJ, I don't know if you're still in the chat. Um, so Danny asked me the question, what am I going to do for my actual 100 subscriber special? So I'm actually going to be holding a giveaway for my merch. It doesn't have to be a specific one, but you can check because by the time I'm done recording these, or actually set, put this on my post on my YouTube channel, um, Howard, hmm, I'm not sure about that just yet, but I think that's a possibility because I know Slay's getting up there in age, and we got him for like another season or two. Um, but yeah, I think he's going to be the next number one corner. But for now, anyways, it's the um, obviously Slay is pretty much the primary corner until he becomes a free agent the next all season or two, like I mentioned earlier. But I kind of feel like it's the. I just feel like this is where. But yeah, like I think he can. I think Xavier Howard, if he can come here to Philadelphia, I just feel like he can really show that he could be a great number one corner when Slay is gone. Even though I don't want Slay to be gone, but the way that I'm seeing it, even though he's getting up there in age, I kind of just feel like it's time for this team to get younger. You know, shedding like players like the old like 2017 Super Bowl. I don't want to get right into that. I mean, a lot of other Eagles content creators. We all talked about that. Um, but yeah, I mean, the thing about me, I got a lot of stories I would like to tell. I have on my mind to share with you guys. If you guys would like to hear some personal stories, of what I had to go overcome, or basically not say overcome, but kind of, had to deal with, um, basically, in my personal life, in sports, you know, those kinds of things. No, like, let's go to the personal side of things. It's like, I had to deal with a lot of bullying. Um, you know, Now looking back at it, it's been crazy, and this is when I'm, eight. Think about it this way: I was 8 or 9 years old at the time when I was in elementary school, getting bullied out the wazoo because, well, I was different. Not not say different, well, kind of different because of the different problems I had up here. Now, like depression and anxiety, that most of the anxiety comes from on my side of on through my family, which runs in my family. Same with depression every now and again. Yeah, yeah, Dante. Yeah, I mean, this is a, but yeah, I mean, I'll go back to that in just a second because the, I had to deal with a lot of bullying, name calling, all like the verbal stuff. Not fit, and that's the thing too. Physical wise, I've never actually gotten bullied physically. It was emotionally that where I got bullied the worst. But like for example, like God, I hope YouTube doesn't take this down. But I have actually been hospitalized for suicide attempts, and many people may not know that I literally. Which content creator do I like working with, Mitch? Uh, so far in the short amount of time that I've done this, I mean, I can name a few off the top of my head. Mitch, you're when it comes to like content creators, you're the first guy that I've enjoyed actually working with. Since you kind of helped me, getting baby steps. Meeting night. Now hopefully try to get something with Joey Shakes is really gonna. I believe it's gonna really help me. Get a little bit more exposure because but so far right now because like you said, Mitch, because the question that you asked, which content creator do I like working with? See, that's going to be a tough one because I've only worked with you, Tyler, and Lindy, and yeah, yeah. So basically, I mean, it's a short sample size. So it's you, Lindy, Nightings. Well, Nightings, I'm going to do something with hopefully soon. So I'll put him in that group and yeah. So yeah, I mean, like I said, to answer the question, it's a short sample size, but I can name like four right now. Greg, uh, actually, Mitch, since you brought that Greg and Key up, actually, I am hosting an NBA roundtable with. I actually have them on my very first NBA roundtable. So because now they're going to be in that list of content creators, I'm actually going to be really be working with pretty well. Because I believe because you know Greg Melly has always been with all like the Sixers stuff that's been going on. It kind of got me thinking, why not have him on the actually before I continue, that's going to be next Sunday afternoon. So I hope you guys will check that out when I go live at those three or those two. I should say, but I kind of feel like this is where I would like to share some of my basketball expertise. With all like the different news, like all season stuff, all the trades. Yeah. So basically, I actually, hey Dante, if you want to be a part of it, hit me up. I can add you on there onto the roundtable because it's because I kind of feel like this. I would see. This is why I think, because I've done a roundtable like this before, but this is more like an audio form. Because I actually have an audio podcast of the same name. But I kind of when I transition to doing the YouTube videos and having my own, like, I guess you could call it a web series or YouTube series. But yeah, I mean, it's been doing pretty well for me. But yeah, I mean, Dante, if you want to come on, by all means, you can. I can add you right onto the roundtable with Greg and Key. But yeah, I mean, with that little bit, side chatter off to the side. But yeah, I mean, I've dealt with bullying, suicide attempts. I've been hospitalized for that. Made fun of because. Oh yeah, I'll definitely add you on after the well, because I have to readjust the thumbnail, but I'll definitely add you on. Um, I'll do yeah, I'll definitely add you on when I get done with tonight's Q&A special. But with that little side thing out of the way, you know I you know even in school, like, I had a tough time doing a lot of things because my autism, and a lot of people think I'm usually sometimes making an excuse for it because sometimes I don't know any better. I do at times because it's like it's just one of those things is where you know I want to try to spread awareness to it, at least get people to talk about because let's just say some this certain group, I get screw it. I had to get this was way before YouTube. I had to had to go into a debate with some anti-vaxxers like, oh, vaccines cause autism. No, it doesn't. If you look at and I showed different medical reports, even like my experiences with autism. And for those who don't know, autism is a developmental disorder, and at times I embrace it for who it. I mean, I embrace it because it's just part of who I am. I'm quirky. I got my a lot of side ticks here and now again. But yeah, I mean, I dealt with a lot of crap, especially in as a young kid over the years. But like sports, when I sort of started taking up sports when I was about in my early teens, about like 13, 14 years old. Um, yeah, I mean, I pretty much did baseball for a majority of my life, for the probably continuing on. Like, for example, because right now I actually am playing a men's league so we're so we're actually pretty much winding down our regular season. So we got two more games left coming Sunday this next week. Um, it's just my goal. See, and that's the thing. When I was growing up, my ultimate goal was playing the pros. Go pro ball. And let's just say that what was the hardest thing about being a pitcher in your entire career pitching? Ooh, that's a good one. Um, the hardest thing, the hardest thing being a pitcher. Well, what do you mean by the hardest thing? Do you like the hardest thing I had to go through? Like, can you elaborate a little bit more on that, Nightings? Because you know, I'm not, and I know it's in my career because I've been doing this for 10 plus years. You know, but yeah, oh yeah, but the hardest thing I have had to overcome as a pitcher was going through a dead arm. You know, basically what a dead arm is where I threw a lot, and that was during my sophomore year of high school. And what had happened was the my arm, as much it didn't hurt for some. It did. I never had a feeling of getting hurt, but it was just so exhausted. It was tired. Like, I mean, obviously with the camera, but obviously this is my throwing hand. Even though I write with my left hand, which is a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy because I think everything what I should do with my left hand I had to do as a southpaw. Oh yeah, Dante. Yeah, Dante. Losing a loved one is kind of as a pain, But think about it this way: like I had to deal with suicide attempts, from verbal abuse, like verbal bullying, being, God, like getting called like the oldest names in the book, like a freak. It got to the point where they started pushing my, it started they got to started pushing my button to the point where I had felt I had just had enough. I had enough with life. And this is at the time when I actually turned. This is before I turned 9 years old at the time, which is for me. I'm looking back at it, even though I don't want to tend to remember it, but I usually remember it just to see how far I have come in life to overcome that. You know, even and I literally have like documentation. Having you know, literally, I have actual paperwork saying that I have been, put in a crisis center for suicide, and actually been, yeah, and actually I've been put on suicide watch. Exactly. Night and see, and that is I nighting. That's what exactly what I'm trying to say. I'm looking back right at look. As I look back at it years ago, I'm looking for it of how far I have progressed over the years, and for some reason I tend to run people the wrong way for no reason, which to me I'm it's crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean it's you know so at times I tend to I would and what's worse was over the years in my life actually I have kept that dark secret over about away from my own mother, which is a shame to say. The uh you know yeah, I mean it's at the this one, God, actually when after I turned 21, I finally actually had to sit down with my mother and finally told her my dark secret, because it was basically like a black rain cloud hanging over my head. And I've actually had to go and I actually have gone through depression episodes, say, and I'm not trying to make, I mean, I do want to spread awareness to mental illness because, well, there's a lot of things I have planned in the future. It is no joke. This is why I want to share you guys my experiences with mental health problems. I've gone through that dark road, because like I'm not because I wanted to show my awareness for mental health, because a lot of people are not talking about it, and which is a shame because especially with depression. Now, I had one depression episode that got so bad, like I shut my entire my family and my actual high school friends away from me. Like I had to isolate myself from everybody, because it's like, but yeah, I mean it's like now looking back at it, you know even though I was heavily medicated as a preteen, but now, like, oh, definitely. I mean, thank you, Dante. You, Nightings, Mitch, Greg, Key, a lot of these content creators that I've actually met along my journey onto 100 subscribers. Um, I mean, I really couldn't. So that's more friends for me to talk to. Like, I mean, it's like it's one of those things is where you know I, I thank you, man. I mean, Mitch. You were the one of the first people to actually were the coolest guys to I actually ever met at 30, when I was very still small. I mean at 35 subs. How much we've worked. I mean, we've worked together for a while. I thought it really, and that's the thing too. Like, I know if you haven't seen, if you guys haven't noticed, if I don't if I don't upload like a day or two, at times I usually take a break, like I take a mental break, because, well, I don't usually get burnt out. I just don't want to constantly uploaded, but I still keep the grind going. Not I say like the longest break I ever took was like a day. But when I came back from that break, I started getting, started grinding out content, getting a lot of views out of it, and you know, and that's the thing too. Even sports wise, you know, now this is where I'm going to go to the sports side of my life because from 13 years old up till now, like uh obviously my goal right now, well, because right now we're trying to win it. I'm sure my team and I, my men's team, we're called the Colt 45s. And fun fact, if you haven't known, the Colt 45s were the original name for the Houston Astros pre 1960s. There's a little history lesson. There's a little sports history lesson for you. Yeah. Why? But yeah, I mean, yeah. Give me 1 second there, Mitch. Shit. Okay. Oh Christ. Okay, let's. But yeah, I kind of feel like it's. Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah, I just feel like it's an awesome opportunity to work with people, other content creators, not just content, like content creators, but understand, explore like new, territories. Like, where do I want to go with the rest? Oh God, I can fly. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, I just felt like, yeah, yeah, trust me. Actually, when I bring, when I like how I get when I get headaches, like sometimes when I oversleep to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, like my head is hurt like a bitch. Let's and we got my good buddy Mitch joining in the stream.
Yeah, I just got done playing Fortnite. I just want to talk to you real quick. But
I it's
seriously, I want to commend you on what you were just talking about there. Because you know me, I used to run a special needs group that
oh
I
yeah,
know so many people. Hey, can I finish, please? Because what you're doing right now, if you do more of this and just keep on doing that with your needs, if that's your needs, man, you can go far. I'm just saying, not a lot of people talk about it. So take my word as you will. And if you want to do that,
of
but
course.
what you're doing, man, I applaud you for getting to 85.
Exactly. Like I
I
wouldn't.
do.
That's the thing. Now I'm looking back at it from when I had my channel in 2011. So I really haven't thought about what to do with it. So it was pretty much dead on arrival when I first made it.
Hmm.
And then and then as time passed, this past 3 months, I had almost like I think over 70 plus videos I have so far on my channel and a handful of live streams.
What with YouTube, it's different for each person. I know how Eagles Uncensored is like at 120 and 150 right now. Same with Bird Gang. Eagles, JC Eagle Talk is like 169 or something, 162, something in that range. But YouTube teaches lessons to different creators. As for me, I took a huge long break in 2019, and that hurt my channel. And I feel like I did the right thing. My channel's back to where it was, and it's just that, man. It's just that YouTube teaches lessons to different creators. Just got
Yeah,
to
I mean,
embrace it.
yeah, like because I have learned a lot over the last handful of months, and meeting actually meeting you for the first time I thought was pretty interesting. Meeting Greg, Lindy, Key in the building, Nightings, Big Play Slay, now Eagles Uncensored, Coach Dante. Those content creators. It's like I have like a whole new circle of group of friends. Like even that's the thing too. It's just like being at I'm speechless at just going at 85,
Dude,
And
I'm
look,
speechless at 1,269. I'm speechless
nice.
at 6.
very nice. But yeah, like you said, like because my goal in life, if I ever want to become a pro athlete, is giving back to the special needs community. Show awareness because I've been part of that. I've been God. When I was about 14 years old, I was super heavily medicated because of my because I had ADHD, I had anxiety, depression, I had to deal with my autism. Like I had a lot of stuff to deal with, and it got to the point, and it got me to the point where I just felt like a drug addict. Not in the literal sense because
Be
I was
careful what
taking.
you say for what you say, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Because like before school, I was taking like 5 pills a day for Monday through Friday for school. Before school, and then 4 years later, I had to go to my neurologist and told her, "Say, yo, I had to stop." Like literally, it got. I was like, "Yeah, I can't do this." Like, because it was giving me, it was giving me, I had to get a special medication to lower my blood pressure because I was getting so heavy weight wise. I had to change my diet. Just go on a healthy life. But in terms of like you said, I really can't thank you guys enough. Like I mentioned earlier in the stream, you guys have done a lot for me as much as it did, and especially you, Mitch. I wouldn't really having thought about progressing as far as I've had. You
Hmm.
know, but yeah, it's it's a one it's an it's such an amazing milestone to hit. But I'm looking towards like the future. I mean, I'm ambitious, but right now, I mean, I'm taking this like baby steps. You know, right now I'm at 85. Next is probably going to hit 90 to 100, and then start working my way from there. And sooner or later, I'm probably going to hit 1,000. But yeah,
Okay,
I mean,
okay, okay. Goals are good. Goals are good. Let's leave it at that, all right? Take one step
yes,
at a time.
oh
Because
yeah,
believe me, even though I got some big shout outs, I'm telling you right now, with shout outs, that doesn't mean all subscribers come to you, bro.
I know.
Maybe a like here and there, but it's still nice to be featured, believe me. I was shouted out by Troy Dan. Like,
Oh
how
my
many
God,
people,
I
like, how many
technically
people get that? I'm just
very
saying.
very rarely. But yeah, I mean, you know, but yeah, like I just said, it's an amazing moment to looking forward to doing this as a side hobby. And funny thing is, I know that because I was talking to my girlfriend last night, and we were talking back and forth.
Wait, wait,
Her,
well, when did that happen?
this was yesterday, last night before I went,
When did you get a
because
girlfriend now?
I had a girlfriend for a couple years now. Sometimes
Where
that's
have
the
I
only.
been? Jesus.
But the funny thing is, she had a YouTube channel named. Name was known as T Spiller, and at time she because when I did a 76ers versus Mavericks live stream, which was my very first one, I think actually got me on almost under 100 views at the
Wait,
time.
what live stream you talking about?
When the Sixers played the Mavericks in I guess the regular season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, like and then she was known as her channel name was T Spiller, and at the time I didn't know that was her, and then she texted me. We were texting back and forth. She told me that she was the one who was asking me different questions in the chat during that live stream. And now looking back on it, and I was just like I was like blown out because she's like she always looks out for me, and I look out for her, and it's just like damn, damn, I should have brought some water up. But yeah, but I mean, I don't know if you saw my temporary backdrop at the moment,
Yep,
especially
it's kind of hard to miss.
especially this one right here.
All
Fine, finally, finally got it after a good period of chunk
right,
of
man.
time.
I'm gonna hop off here. Just happy for your 85. Keep doing your thing. I'll talk to you later,
Oh,
man.
Thanks, Mitch. Hopefully see you. Hopefully we can work something out.
Talk to me
I
about this
mean,
roundtable thing.
with the NBA roundtable.
Is it on YouTube? I'm confused.
Well, I'm going to be doing it. Well, I'm going to do it via live StreamYard. So I'm going to have
So it
like,
is a lot. It is going to be a live stream then.
yeah, it's like kind of
Okay.
what we did. Guy, I guess when you, me, Key, and Greg first met.
It'll be like
So
that.
kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So
I'll think
we'll
about
talk.
that. All right. I'll think.
Okay.
All right,
I
I'll
mean, if
talk to
it,
you later, man.
I'll see ya.
Thanks.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's my buddy Mitch. But now, like I mentioned, I mean, you guys are an amazing group of people I have ever met. You know I may not be the I kind of don't stick out as much as I would. I mean, I'm trying to stick out as much as I would, hopefully in the future. But going on to like some of the other personal stories, but yeah, like through my baseball career, I've had to deal with, a lower like a groin injury one time, a dead arm in my sophomore year of high school. Um, yeah, definitely. Thanks, Dante. I mean, I really kind of I can't really. I mean, I'm very grateful to have you guys, going in the chat, you know, just talking. That's what I enjoy doing some of these live streams. Even though like because it's like, hey, look, I mean, when I do, I mean, look, I mean, I want to, share my personal experiences with you, with my fellow subscribers, my fellow viewers, you know, maybe new viewers who need somebody to understand, say, what they say, what I had to go through, with the mental health problems. Yeah, because it's like, how about yeah? I mean, like like I said, I had to deal with an injury throughout my career. I had to deal with a couple sprained ankles. I think that was my junior varsity. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that was my freshman year because we were practicing it indoor. Because at the time, because it was so cold and snowy outside, we had actually literally had to practice indoors. And I wanted to actually, and this was time when I was at my heaviest, around about almost like 297 pounds as a freshman. And you know, obviously, when I had the stereotypical double chin, all of that. Once I start, I'm even after all the all this stuff is going to go like I'm going to try get back into shape because try to at least cut down a little bit because it's like even because I want to try to be as healthy as I possibly can because I really don't want to die young. Well, not have any like serious health problems. You know, when I get a little bit older, but try to be a part of that. But you know, the dead arm. Let me tell you about that's part of my of my story because that was the one year actually that and I'll admit this too. That's the only one year in my career that I did suck. And I'll admit that to the fact right now, yes, that I sucked one year in high school. I was pretty good. I was good in, uh, as a freshman when I played for. Well, we had another level because the freshmen had their own like separate thing for high school baseball. And then there was junior varsity, which I think was ranging from sophomore to juniors, maybe. And that's when I got to my after my sophomore season, which was my bad season to date. Um, my grandfather and I, me and my grandfather are we look, and I have my biological dad, whose also name is Robert too, but his name is Bob, but his full name is Robert too. Um, but my grandfather, Bob Daly, um, he and I kind of just did everything together, sports wise. I mean, he's been my personal bullpen catcher for years. A couple, hurting it every now and again. When he had gout. Actually, that brings up a few funny stories. Every time when I throw a good pitch, because when he this was at the time when he had gout, gout. Because I never, because I always for somebody because I started late compared to my other athlete friends. So I was technically labeled as a late bloomer. My velocity, uh, right now I'm in the mid to upper 80s. You know, when I was about like 13 to between 13 to I think to 17, I was in like the mid to mid high 70s, low 80s. With I mean, at the time when I time with a two seamer, a four seam fastball, an okay four seam fastball, and a changeup. Now later in my career, I've yeah, exactly. Because at the time, we had to go. Well, because I had to indoor. Well, because I went to a small school here in Gloucester City, New Jersey. Because we had we actually because the old gymnasium we had this barrier right above in like the middle of the gym where we actually pulled down the batting cage. That's our indoor batting cage. So we had to use like these yellow balls you see at these batting cages. These dimple uh, balls, I guess you can call them. But yeah, so that's kind of what we had. Also we had this. We did a lot of drills like top hand, bottom hand with tennis balls and all this stuff. And okay, as soon as I went to my what did I say? Oh, oh, okay. So Dante, what I meant was I had dead arm, which I had arm fatigue. Like I literally can like I was it was so bad. Like when I tried to throw a fastball, I couldn't get anything behind it. Like it was so weak. Like literally, I couldn't. I lost. It's basically the case of the yips. In turn, that's basically one. That's how I want to summarize my sophomore season. Because my first year, actually, I was pretty good as a freshman. You know, yeah, exactly. The one, but the my it was my sophomore season is I think is what you were trying to say because my sophomore season was when I had the case of the yips. From what I think a buddy of mine told me. Um, as soon as I went, and then I had to change up and me and my grandfather, and this is at the time when me and my grandfather were throwing every single day, and at the time I didn't know that was going to really affect the strength of my arm. Despite I was a late bloomer, like I mentioned before. Um, the But yeah, I mean, like I mentioned, after that season ended, I moved. I went back. I came back my junior season stronger, but this time I changed up my throwing regimen. So I've been trying to be throwing twice a week. Try to at least get start working on different unique drills, and I just kind of feel like that's where I had some really success. Like, but yeah, I mean, and that's oh, actually, that brings up another story. This is like another thing I want to share with you guys. Over my 10 plus year career as a baseball player, I had to deal with some good coaches on one hand and some bad coaches on the other. Now, I want to focus on the bad coaches. I think I had to deal with three. I'll name them right off the bat. One was Dan Callahan, which was my very first coach when I entered to Little League because I'm in Jersey, so I play with I actually get actually that kind of actually they sent me the Gloucester Little League actually sent me to Mount Ephraim because he had no place for me. It's like, and now looking back at it, it's like I felt disgraced in terms of Gloucester was my home, where I because at the time because Gloucester's the only town that I knew. Um, but yeah, like, and I went to Mount Ephraim for Little League for the two or three seasons. I actually had two. have one bad season, and the only win we ever got was via forfeit, and that team was complete garbage because we had like two coaches who didn't know how to coach a little league team. Then we went back to, and then and then the spring of the year of the next year, we wind up actually going a little bit further in the playoffs, but we actually won. Unfortunately, we lost in the first round against. We call them the Stratford Ninjas because they were such a good team built around. We lost a few runs to them. But yeah, I mean it's. But yeah, I just feel like exactly. I mean, look, I'm trying to be blunt as I possibly can because I had to go through some bad years as a baseball player, and I'm not. And I really hate to say it, and sometimes I don't like failing, because it's like it's like the worst feeling in the world for me. And at times, like I had some, and then I had a new little league coach come in one year, and then he like I said turned this entire team around to had a good winning season. I forgot where we finished record wise because we would have been yeah, basically kind of just kind of we were just constantly winning games, you know. But yeah, I mean, and when I got started to enter at the high school level, everything started to change, you know, because I did other sports, but that was pre high school, which we would call up here junior high, the seventh and eighth grade. So I did soccer and basketball. But basketball wise, I was actually I was the equipment manager, which sucked, but you know it was not the best thing in the world for me. Which and the way I can describe it, like when it comes to basketball practice, I literally would just have to sit on the sideline and just watch. I was never considered a player. I was Yeah, exactly. And and that's the thing too. I was never on it like these little league teams that qualified for like districts and whatnot. Um, not like the world like the league like this like the little league World Series nowadays. Like I was never a part of that because I never got started at a very young age. Because I mean, I did t-ball for a while, but after that, I had to stop because I actually moved down to South Carolina, like I mentioned earlier in the stream. Because as soon as I came back, 11 years later, I actually had to get used to the 60 feet 6 inches and the 90-foot base paths. Like travel balls nowadays, who are like like the like or going from like a shorter distance, like these elite travel ball teams. I never had the I never had the opportunity to basically play like that. Now I mean as soon as senior year, um actually speaking of the bad coach, actually there's two others I want to try to mention. Well, actually, no. This guy wasn't a coach, but he was one of my high school buddies' dads, and I still remember this very clearly because I've been a pitcher for over a decade, even counting. At and this he said this to me at 12 years old, like you will never make it as a pitcher, and I didn't know how to respond to that. It's like what now as I'm looking back, like I actually proved everybody wrong. Like I've like one of having a one hit shutout in my back pocket, almost two perfect games, two no hitters. Like and and the funny thing is when I met and my Mike Cyber, who is one of my best buddies, his dad. Uh, I just felt like that was just like a complete dick thing to say to me, and the fact that and I've seen met him like years later after he said that to me in my face, one even my grandfather was right beside me, and he did not like not the one word he said coming out of his mouth. But it's just like it's one of those things. It's where exactly, Dante, you're right on the point because at the time I didn't know how to pitch because I started late, like I mentioned, like I said earlier, like I didn't start pitching until I was about 13 to 14 years old, and this is at the time when I was at 12 years old. At sometimes when kids are starting to learn how to pitch. Me, I didn't start till I was about a little bit getting older, starting to develop. It's I just and I like I said, I proved it wrong. I had over my time when I played travel ball, not like these elite, because for here, because where I'm from, we have the tri-state elite, travel ball teams, and I played for one or actually two of them. I threw a 7 inning one hit shutout. In high school, I finished. This is my junior season. In my junior season of high school, I finished. Fortunately lost a no hitter in the sixth. With 11 strikeouts. That was against Pittman High School at the JV level. Because it's like I wanted to show like it's I just I want to send them like a message where it's basically say if you're gonna say doubt my skills, I mean like and I will and I that's basically what I did. I pretty much and it got to the point where it was at the I think third to last game of the season for travel ball. I actually approached pretty well after that one hit shutout. Um, Actually, that brings me to this other coach. His name is Jack Frumbach, and I played against his son because we have two different high school. Well, one's a non-public school called Gloucester Catholic, and his son Andrew, and when I forgot what his other son was. Basically he basically shut me down. Like after throwing that one hit shutout, that 71 hit shutout against Stratford, it just it just ruined it kind of just ruined my confidence a little bit, and it ticked off my grandfather because I and that's the thing too. As soon as I was going through my career, I had to deal with like some bullshit politics throughout like different teams. Like oh god, like with people having these like cliques or like their favoritism or the nepotism that's been showing. Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of where the bad. Yo, Gray, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I'm just telling some because right now I'm just telling some personal stories about uh, who I really am. As terms as the man behind the camera. Actually, the funny, Dante, as soon as I mentioned that, like in high school, I actually never they actually DH'd for me, which to say the least, well, as soon as I got to my senior year of high school, that's the only time I ever got a chance to hit. I was and that's the thing. I'm a bench. What people describe me as a bench player, and and they're right. I am a bench player, and at one time, when our season was coming to an end, we had a thing called Senior Day, and I pretty much was in the starting lineup. Despite being a bench player. I mean, I got a game-winning hit against the Wildwood High School, to help us, solidify. I mean, at the time we were a 16 seed in the New Jersey in the state, playoff run. We defeated Haddon Heights. Most embarrassing, and actually I had one embarrassing moment because I was basically sat on the bench for the entire postseason, and basically in terms, I had my teammates' parents, getting really frustrated because, you know, other than my best friend Bob Trajani, who actually going to meet during my 5 year high school reunion. Because other than that, we didn't, and my friend Nick D'Agostino, but other than that, we really didn't have any other pitchers other than my best other buddy Sal Carasino. But You know, yeah, I was basically screwed out as a pitcher. Well, actually, no. Let me rephrase that. I only pitched once at the varsity level, and that was an okay start for me. But I haven't pitched. I haven't done it because someone actually, well, a buddy of mine, Mike Kane. That's another story in itself. And his dad, like I just kind of just I'm not the person that holds grudges, but sometimes I ask the question, why? Like, why would you do something to? Because I would gladly help you contribute to our postseason. Next thing we know, me and my 8 other buddies who were seniors at the time, we lost to a mediocre high school team baseball program in the second round of the playoffs. And now looking back at it, it hurt. Like I've never felt failure that and failure it hurt me most of I mean it hurt me and my other teammates, my other senior teammates, but I just feel like exactly it pissed me off to the point where I had I had to channel my Rocky instinct, like you know oh yeah, I've been doing this for a while. I've been because right now, yeah, I've been doing this since 10 years now. Because I, late bloomer. And look, I mean, I've been playing in a men's senior wood bat league, and I'm actually pretty fun with it. I'm actually part of one of the elder statesmen because I'm like one of the vets of this of this league. Because I spent now actually this is my I'm in my 7th season, but yeah, 7th season, but my 4th season with this team. Uh, Hang on, I got my men's jersey. Hang on. Oh, okay. Okay. So basically, this is my team jersey. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so I played with the Colt 45. So who at the time, we weren't good for the first 3 seasons, and as soon as I went to them or to who's running it, this is the number I chose. Ah, shit. Sorry. This is the number I kind of chose. Move the mic down a little bit. This is the number I chose to have on the back of my jersey because as much and my favorite player, my pro pitcher by the way, was Roy Halladay, and he wore the number 34 for the Phillies at one point. And that's the thing too. Like I grew up in the late '90s, like 90. I was born in 1997. Like the one old school Astro that I liked watching the highlights of is Nolan Ryan, and just how gritty that guy was. Like he didn't take bullshit from anybody. And another guy that I actually, a lot of people might think this might be a stretch because I kind of modeled my game after Greg Maddux himself. Not to say that because velocity wise is almost not almost similar, but for me, I have like 5 pitches that I can work with. You know, I have a 4 seamer, I have a 2 seam fastball, I have a changeup, I have a curveball, and I have a splitter. And the funny thing is, the splitter I work off my 2 seamer, but it has a weird movement. It's more like a sinking. Yeah, Cole Hamels is good. As another one too that I liked, and I made a video on him as well. With the news surrounding him. So I hope you get a chance to check that out. But later, maybe now, late, I have saw like people, guys like, because I follow a guy named Mike Adams on Twitter who he trained a kid named Chase Petty who got selected by the Twins in this year's MLB draft. Um, the because and my you know I'm looking at it, and I've watched the draft almost every single year, and I'm looking at it like I don't know. It just like there was it's a whole different feeling. like just comes over. It's just like I'm thinking to myself, maybe just hopefully one day will somebody notice me. And then as soon as I graduated high school, I went on to junior college, Roman College of Gloucester County at the time. I walked on, tried to do a walk on to the baseball program because they were holding walk on tryouts. I was like, give it a shot. First time, outperformed their good players, got cut, plain and simple. And at the time, I just felt disappointed, you know, because I put in a lot of hard work to actually show that I can be capable of pitching at the college level, and it just was it was just a horrible feeling to have it, and it hurt me so much. Actually, it showed like I'm thought to myself, maybe I'll try harder next year. Then I'll come back to my next year, did it again, outperformed. Same result, was getting cut. You know, like it's just it was just like the worst feeling in the world to actually hear you get cut twice. Even though that was like now I went back the following year, did the same exact thing, outperformed their recruits. You know, as a walk on. You know. Next thing I know, like I get cut for the third time, and I got to the point where I was so pissed off, like it just, I and actually, now that since I brought that up, it kind of brought me to the point where I actually have considered, hanging out the spikes because it's like no one would ever give me a chance. There are times throughout my career like no one has given me a chance to prove what I'm capable of, and it's just it was a weird. And this was at the time, and like I mentioned before, I even this was at the time when I was still dealing with depression at the time, and now that actually got me into the and it's just it just put me in a downward spiral. It just put me in a downward spiral towards think about retiring, stepping away from the game, you know. But then again, and then as soon as you know, it's just one of those things just where you know people. I'm trying to think of the word. So I know the word, I just can't think of it at the moment. But I apologize to you guys or the two viewers, whoever's watching the stream. But I just kind of feel like I want to send a message you know to those who don't those less fortunate who actually less fortunate baseball players who will never be given the chance, kind of those late bloomers. Look, I've been in your position. I've been in that position before. You know, I tried doing a hopefully. Uh, yeah, actually no. Okay, let me right now. No. Okay, so what you meant by that was he doesn't look he doesn't know how to play basketball. That's kind of what the point I was making, because and I'll DM you about that after the stream. I want to try to keep going as much as I can, but I want to like I mentioned before, like I'm not the type of person that holds grudges against anybody, and I've learned over the years not to be a quitter. Now, actually, there were some good coaches that I have worked. I've been part of a coaching staff with, or I've been coached before. Freshman year, I had this one coach, Eric Cassidy, and I know, and this dude, as crazy as he can be, and I think I lost how many times he's been ejected as our freshman coach, but it just it's ever since when he ever gets when he got ejected, from one of our freshman games, it seemed to put a spark under us. It just was one of the guys. He's one of those coaches. He knows how to like raises really raise the bar for us. Not hard, but he worked with us along the way to that. You know, um, basically, just kind of it helped me under and it kind of just realized, yeah, it's just like I just nowadays like I enjoy the game. I actually after all the negative stuff that has happened throughout my career, and having having the right coaches that worked with me over the years. But yeah, like another coach that I liked, Chad Zierfoss, and Chad, if you're, I don't know if you're ever watching this, you know, you were the one of the coaches that I have the most utmost respect for. I mean, being a part of your coaching staff for the Brawlers, and this is what he does. I mean, one summer, like he brought me up to the Gloucester City Brawlers, which was one of our town's elite travel ball teams. The 12U Navy, and he brought me along to help me get my feet wet into coaching. And sooner or later, I actually helped get some of our players better. Like for example, like I have actually fixed this one kid, Scotty Lynch. This dude can. He was an okay hitter, but he had some of these mechanical problems in the way that he swings the bit. And this is at the time where this was before the USA Baseball actually took over like the instead of like U triple SA kind of thing before new standards. But at the time, well, he was using a BB core, so it's something what I was using in high school, and now, and even in my men's league, some I will because technically I'm using bamboo, but he kind of helped me. I kind of just helped him, figure out the key of hitting, and which ironic part is hitting was never my strong suit as a baseball player, despite the fact I was a pitcher. Like, and I felt I thought that was an ironic memory to look back on. Same with Charlie Grady. Um, he turned out to be a great player as well. And my cousin John Daly, I helped him, and I helped even. I mean, dude, he's already a freaking nature as it is as an athlete. But I kind of helped him, figure out to simplify his mechanics a little bit as a pitcher. I was pretty much a pitching coach slash a bullpen catcher. And but yeah, I mean, I kind of just felt like they kind of just it just clicked. Scotty was just a constant home run hitter. Same with Charlie Grady every now and again. John was just my cousin John, still doing what he does best. Being that freaking nature of an athlete, and that's a good thing. Now, when I mentioned about my buddy Mike Kane Jr., and this is a one coach. This is and I know it hates a strong word, but this is where I had the most hatred for. His dad, Mike Kane Sr. If you're watching this, dude, you know, look, ever since I came into the. Okay, before I do, something ridiculous, um, I want to give you a little, context of this one man who pretty much ruined me. Well, not say ruined me, but ruined my travel bowl experience because when I mentioned when I worked was playing with Chad Zerfoss as a coach. This was as soon as I turned 18, Chad actually brought me on. Yeah, Chad brought me on to because the 18U Brawlers needed another player, or were looking for players. So I guess they brought me on as late addition, as much, and I can remember this too. I remember Mike Cain Sr. never took kind to that, and um, he really never took kind to it because I was not one of those kids just like where I played I it's like he just like I was like an outcast playing among actual boy actual good players. In reality, if you look at the way that my career has been and the way that my career has been over the years, it's like I've always been a bench player. I mean, that's kind of how that's how who I've always been for the last handful of years, because I was just a pitcher, and learning other positions was a different. It's just it's he just really never liked he just really never liked me. Well, not exactly like me, but he never liked my grandfather and me. Like what I mean by that, I mean like one time, and this is where actually there's a few instances where I just didn't never. Actually, and this it got to the point where actually I had to leave the coaching staff. I mean because of him. Like even with the 12U Navy that I was working with, when there were not or like no other like the age bracket like some of these travel ball teams have, like we had our own indoor facility, right? And I was one of the coaches that actually had the key to it. So and I was told, I can use the facility by Chad himself, might I add, when no one's using it, right? You know, I go over there every now and again to work on, work on my craft, when they're not using it. So one day when I thought, no one was using it, Mike Kane and his age bracket show up, and he just told me I had to get out. Like no one, I was like, okay. So I pretty much, he just gave me this one just dirty look and it just ruined. He just never liked me. Even my grandfather too. Like it got to the point where I wanted to punch him in the fucking face. I really did. And as much and as much as I love Mike Kane Jr. as one of my best buddies, I just never liked his dad. His dad came as an as an arrogant prick. The fact that he know that even when Chad stepped, and as soon as Chad, when Chad stepped down from the as the president of the Brawlers organization, yo Eagles Uncensored, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Eagles Uncensored. I want to try to get you caught up on what's going on. So far, I mean, obviously, welcome to my 80 plus sub special. With I had some people, give me some Q&A, some questions they would like me to answer. Kind of the Q&A style, and every late. I mean, basically later in the stream, I've been telling some personal stories. Kind of open myself up to who you know to who I am as a content creator, behind the camera, kind of, open my, kind of get to know me. Well, yeah, I mean, I've been telling a lot of personal stories. I had Mitch on earlier. He wanted to stop by and talk for a bit, but I thought that was pretty fun. But like I was saying before, it just he was one of those guys where just never seemed to really liked ever since. And I'm and like I said before, like I'm not the kind of person that holds grudges or the player that will do anything to do anything wrong. Well, I do make mistakes. Sorry about that. But like and this is at the time where I was learning a new position. At the time, I was a pitcher slash a third baseman, and then I was transferred to the first base. So at the time, I was still getting used to playing, getting used to the position. And as soon as I made one, fielding mistake from as a first baseman, next thing I know, I get fucking benched for no from that one goddamn mistake. It just, I don't know, like it really pissed me off. It really did. The following practice after, like when I didn't, I purposely half-assed something, to show my I kind of protest Mike Kane Senior's coaching. Like it kind of sent him a message like, you know, if you're gonna bench me for one mistake, then just bench me for the entire goddamn game. And I told my grandfather this too. Like had to show my displeasure for the guy, and it got to the point where he tried to fight, mostly fight my grandfather by any means, shape, or form. But overall, I mean, I had to deal with some bad coaches and some good coaches, so a different balance, like the bullshit politics behind them, the nepotism, um, you know, obviously like the politics, all of it, the nepotism, like I said, kind of just basically, just, kind of just, looked down upon, what was, I'm just one of those players that just some bad coaches look down upon me, like and kind of just they just say, like, I mean, there's really nothing more that I can. And look, and I had some good coaches, you know, kind of just, kind of were supportive. I mean, like I said, like I had some good coaches over the years. Like they just kind of just, helped me through. Try to get to be better. Despite the fact I was as a bet, my role as a bit other than as a pitcher was the, be a bat off the bench, and that was it. I was never meant to be like, oh, you're gonna be like a starting position. I mean, I can be a starting pitcher or a reliever because I'm a utility pitcher, so I can do both. Like, it's just one of those things is where like I kind of tend to think, where do I want to go? Where is my career gonna go? Is anybody going to give me a chance? Because I do want to play at the professional level someday. But when I found out that nobody, and I've actually, and even during my time at junior college at Rowan College in Gloucester County, I actually had talked to a couple actually major league scouts. And the fucked up part was I got cut before scout day, and it hurt. I thought, like, well, I just shook my head. I felt disappointed. Like I feel like I failed. I thought it was just a huge failure in my career in just the way that I am as a player. But I mean, it's pretty cool. And to wrap this all up, I kind of just enjoy telling my life stories to you guys. I talked about how I had to go through mental health at a very early age, which is scary, and to think about, it's scary to think about because I just kind of just feel like I've I just felt like I just felt I got better. I just kept my mental health under control. I really did. But I want to say give you a huge thank you to everyone who came out tonight for the subscriber special. Hopefully I'll try to at least do these uh, more in the future when I hit like certain milestones. But stay tuned for that. And if it like also if you're new to my channel, smash that like button. Get in the comments in my videos. Give me your thoughts and opinions on the topics I cover. Like up my video. Just show your show your support, and I'll do the same in return. It's kind of just paying it forward to from one content creator to another. But guys, I'm gonna hop off, but I want to say thank you to everybody who came out tonight for my 85 or my 80 plus sub special. But I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys when I hit 100.